Sam, Dehne, this is the what they call the consent agenda, where they're going to vote on a whole lot of things all at once, sort of housekeeping stuff, and and I'm speaking, I'm not for or against anything on it. It looks pretty much like housekeeping. But every time I come down here, since I was the driving force that made the privileged license of a marijuana license legal, since I was instrumental in that taking place, since the city council, not necessarily these guys, kept postponing it. Once the state made it legal, it was on the agenda to start putting out the licensing project, and I finally said, ladies and gentlemen, it's legal. People are sick and dying. Let's do it. The very next week, it was on the agenda, and I followed through for several months, and eventually it became legal. That was medical marijuana, and I've got nothing against recreational marijuana either. But I've taken upon myself, since I was the driving force that legalized this stuff, and I made a music album, I commemorated it with 7117, which is the new 420. 7117, that's the day that pot was made legal in Reno, Nevada, and that's registered in my name. But along with, and I don't use marijuana, I tested it one time and that was it. But along with I just said, well, it's legal, let's do it. But then in the process of honchoing this thing month after month for 2 years almost, I kept learning more and more stuff. And one of the things I learned was that far worse than any effect that marijuana can have on anybody as far as getting stoned, the worst effect is the fact that you can bust a marijuana test. The marijuana test is diabolical. It does not tell the person what your situation is at the moment you might be pulled over for a traffic accident or tested for a job. It does. You have a couple of puffs of marijuana, and it might. You're not stoned a day later, but you might have the THC, they call it, in your system for months, for a month, and you lose your job, go to jail, pay a fine. It's all wrong. So now the latest thing is that our dear new Governor Sisolak, wants to create a medical or a marijuana board. And if there's anybody who should be on that board, I don't want, it's kind of like these pot licenses. You would see all these people who are against marijuana, they're hidden back in there and they own these pot licenses now. That's hypocritical. This board should have somebody like Tom Clark, a friend of mine, Tom Clark. He's just a regular citizen, smart guy, got some time, he should be on that board. My son, who was the challenger for mayor 6 years ago, should be on that board. And Sam, Dehne should be on the board. Are you listening, Governor Sisolak?
Thanks, Sam.